Heroes and Legends, Dynasties, the Insuran-Banquron. We continue on with the Manican forces versus the Clincalow. As they've had their first encounter, the Clincalow forces were determined to stop the Manican rise at any cost. Leno took the battlefield himself, along with Hara, Clincalow, Melkaru, Asami, the great hero, and Anastasia, who is the mastermind, and Lewis, the general. These were in the council of Clincalow, along with the Kelly clan and the head of the Kelly clan, Shanae Kelly and Lashan, the Afro Diva. Despite their best efforts and their tacticians, they were soundly defeated and pushed back. The Clincalow failed to stop Omri Manica's advance, and they know if they did nothing, the Manican forces will continue to grow and grow until they consume the entire insurance space for themselves, and the universe as a whole will be in grave danger. Seeing them not let this happen, Hara Clincalow had a perspective in terms of doing something about them. He reached out to his secret ally, George Thompson, and Ian on a call. My lord, it seems you've been pushed back. What will you do to derail the Manican forces? If this continues, they'll only go stronger. Ian then said, we must come up with more strategies. I suggest we do a campaign to beat back the Manican forces with all our might. And then Harold then chimed in and said, no, this is exactly what they want us to do, and they expect us to do. He must be unpredictable and do something completely unorthodox. And then George Thompson was like, okay, I see your point. So great Lord Hara Clincalow, what unorthodox thing do you have in mind? Hara then folded his arms and sat back in his chair and closed his eyes and smiled and said, just sit back and relax and listen out to any major exciting news in the future, news in which we change the course trajectory of the entire universe forever. The Clincalow forces were moving once again to take yet another galaxy in order to grow their forces. This time, it was the occupied territory of the Providence Insuran. Leading the charge for the Clincalow was Ian, his brother Therme, and the new top fighter Rio and Lashan attacked to steal something valuable within the Providence forces. Kristen, the card-fighting leader of the galaxy, was stunned. The Clincalow attacking here? Have these fools have no shame? Forbes, lead our forces to victory. Beat back their forces. Emilio the giant with locks began to use his abilities to butcherate the Clincalow. They did not see that famed man that was an expert Morat in technology. He wanted to face their mechs. However, Emilio would have to settle for their mere forces. He easily pushed back Lashan and Rio. While this was going on, a secret force within the Clincalow went into the barracks of the Providence and stole a number of uniforms from the enemy. They were unaware of this, however, as they continued on with their advance. The Providence Insuran found a chance. We will sneak past the enemy forces, head straight for their main camp, and drive them back. The Providence Insuran and Clincalow seemed to be evenly matched, and the two forces squared off both to go on an all-out battle. Within this time, it was Ian who had saw enough and said, our forces must retreat. We cannot withstand this enemy any longer. And so the Clincalow retreated. Kristen was stunned. Kristen was so excited by this stunning event. We've done it! We of the Providence have defeated the Clincalow. May our forces triumph, and may our cheers of victory scourge the very universe itself. The Providence forces had grown in jubilation, and they felt as though they were invincible and could take on any and all challengers. This victory made the Providence Insuran top insuran for the first time ever. However, this victory may go into the heads of some of their allies, as one faithful knight in a particular place was destined to change the fate and the course of the universe forever. Sometime later, the forces of Omri Manican, a small troop, along with his cousin C. Manican, were in a manner planning the next offensive. Omri Manican sat on the floor meditating while C was going over some documents. Omri wondered where the next attack would go, how the next attack would go. C was only concerned that Omri will lead him to the battlefield and he will do his part and crush his foes. While all this was happening, a report had come from a trooper. Report, this trooper said. It's the Providence Insuran. The Providence Insuran are here. And C was like, the Providence Insuran? My lord, are you going to use them in your future attack somehow? And then Omri is like, I did not summon the Providence Insuran. What is this? And then the troop continued his report, saying, my lord, we are very bad formations. It seems as though they're attacking this place. C was stunned. What? Those treacherous fools! Omri then opened his eyes and stood up and proclaimed, so the Providence Insuran had won victory, and now they wish to use that as a hedge to attack me? Fools. Let me see what they're capable of. And then leading the army of Providence Insuran was a head captain, a newcomer to the Providence Insuran. He was a very skilled man. He rode on the steed and raised his sword upon the air and said, we have defeated the Clincalow. Now we must free ourselves from our slavery and usher in a new league for us. We will destroy the Manicans once and for all and usher in the age of Providence. All units, charge! The Providence Insuran and the Manican elite troops fought each other. It was a grueling battle in the dead of night. The Manican forces did not expect the Providence Insuran or anybody in that matter to attack them, and so the Providence Insuran had the upper hand. Then C. Manican, with his sword itching for a fight, raced towards the battlefield. The captain then had a plan. He ordered all forces to hold C. Manican back and available forces to protect the task force. And so they had the task force ready and able to attack. The captain protected the task force as they wanted to set ablaze the manor and force Omri Manican out. The Manican forces tried their best, but the captain was too strong, and he had a powerful sword sheathed, and he unsheathed his sword, blasting the Manican forces away. After such time, the task force reached the destination and set the manor and the surrounding buildings ablaze. Lots of Manican soldiers burnt alive. C. Manican was distraught. This enemy is cruel. The Providence Insuran don't fight like this. Has their vigor changed after defeating the Clincalow? Just for type of people all day. While Manican was contemplating his life, Omri then came out of his chambers and said, this reminds me of the time that Huron went to test my might. However, I think this battle is for my head and not mere test. Come at me, Providence Insuran. Show me your will, which you have. Then Omri summoned his full power, the demon tamer, and the captain of the Providence Insuran were about to square off. The captain used his sword to beat back and hold the newfound dark energy that Omri had possessed since exercising the demons of the Manican's past. The two dueled, and Omri tried to use his sword to weaker energy. However, the Providence captain was too smart for that and used a blast instead to blast his sword back into Omri's hand. Seems my little trick cannot work on you. Come, you captain. You with your shields and your helmet. You hide your identity. Come, show me the man who dares defy my rule. The captain was silent, and so they led their blades to the talking. The strength of the Manican and the sword of the Providence clashed, and while these two men were clashing, the flames that surrounded them grew more fearsome. The flames were too hot for even see to reach his lord in time, as he slaying advantage soldiers along the way. While this was going on, Omri then felt a strange power coming from this captain. It was not like any he has ever witnessed. Certainly, this could not be such an ordinary captain. This man is beyond just a regular officer. Just who is he? While he was contemplating this, the captain caught Omri slipping, and then he able to slice one of Omri's legs, force him to the ground, and then the captain twirled around with his sword and knocked the two swords out of Omri's hand. With that, Omri was to his knees, and the captain's sword was to his throat. It was up for Omri as the flames grew hotter and closer to them. Omri then asked, "So, my end has nigh come at last. I am unable to fulfill my God-given destiny. But please, allow me to see who it is that is able to best me at long last." And then the captain obliged and removed his helmet to reveal his identity. Omri was stunned, and then he said, at last, now it makes sense. I now will die knowing that I have fallen to a most worthy opponent." And with that, the captain slayed Omri, got his helmet, put it back on, and told his forces to retreat. The forces then ran back to their ships and ran away. The remainder of the Manican forces, led by C, were greatly tired, bruised, and injured. The flames were put out, and all that was left was the two swords of Omri sticking on the ground. The great hero, Omri Manican, was no more.